for checking out Actman's video. Black Ops 7 is creatively bankrupt. In a lot of ways, there are some truths to this, but we'll kind of see what he says. That he has made quite a bit of Call of Duty videos over the years, claiming that MW2 was a good Call of Duty. So kind of weigh that in the options of what he's going to say here. Well, let's get into it.
Fear makes you easier to control.
Playtime is over when Nikki traps in.
It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's
The hell, he got a lot of dust on that alarm.
It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up.
Do I have to talk about Black Ops 7, Mommy? I can't go to school today. I'm sick. I'm sick.
I don't get you. Don't get you no more.
So Black Ops 7 just had its big reveal trailer and a 17-minute direct video going deep into the weeds of what this game is all about.
Unfortunately, I'll probably stop a bunch during the video as part of a reaction. You should react to what the heck's being talked about. There was two videos that got posted essentially simultaneously, which was the trailer, which is primarily campaign specific and mostly a little bit of the end game. Very limited details, a lot of like just whatever. But then the thing he referenced there, that 17-minute direct, is 17 minutes of them talking in detail about the various aspects of the game, what you're going to get with campaign, what you're going to get with multiplayer, and what you're going to get with zombies. And obviously we normally cover Warzone, and that's kind of been hush-hush, not talked about. And that generally doesn't get talked about until COD Next. So we got to wait until September 30th for that. But besides that, that's the information that it looks like he's, you know, surrounding his information off of. Before we get too deep into the video, we got a sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Factor Meals. This is a company I've worked with multiple times because I genuinely like what they have to offer. And they just make it really easy for you to get going with a variety of different meals. There's so many different things to choose from. They doubled the size of their menu to now 80 plus. And this rotates weekly, so you got even more options. Or whether you're a health conscious like I have been kind of recently, where I'm down 20 pounds, it's kind of one of those things where you can help keep those meals in check, especially if you're short on time. It just gives you that nice convenience factor that you could just go ahead and get your meal and know exactly what's in it and prep ahead of time, knowing that you're going to have that in your meal plan. And on top of that, regardless of what option you go with, whether it's the variety or more health conscious, keto, whatever the case is, it's going to taste good and it's going to give you variety from all over the world. And they're super flexible, so you can start these meal plans and stop them kind of as you need. This is something I have done multiple years, especially when the new Call of Duty drops. I know that I'm going to be super busy. I go ahead and order enough, assuming that I'm not going to leave my desk, so I always have great options available to me instead of just ordering out and eating junk. So to check it out for yourself, go ahead and head over to factor75.com or click the link in the description and use code JGODFB50 for 50% off plus free breakfast for a year. I repeat, that's code JGODFB50 at factor75.com for 50% off plus that one free year of breakfast. Thank you again to Factor for sponsoring today's video. Welcome back.
And from what I've seen, Black Ops 6 is the equivalent of finally coming up with the perfect comeback 8 years after some kid on the playground hit you with the "I know you are, but what am I?" It is proof beyond a reasonable doubt to me that Call of Duty is creatively bankrupt. Maybe it has been for a long time. Maybe we've just been in denial. Perhaps some part of me.
That's also a thumbnail. One part to add with that is a lot of people were like, oh, they just keep going back ups to the Black Ops series and they keep going to the Modern Warfare series. The reality is like Call of Duty is a business. I don't agree that they should be doing this. And I agree with what Actman says is that it is creatively bankrupt to not like diversify it. But anytime Call of Duty does with Ghost, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, World War II, Vanguard, these games do terribly. But you know what doesn't do terribly? COD 4 Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Cold War. It didn't say Black Ops Cold War. So that kind of, even just the naming, that problem actually hurt Cold War. So it makes sense why Call of Duty does it as a business. If you're running a restaurant and you have the three most popular items ordered on your menu, you need to stop and cut down on the other stuff that's not getting ordered and make it simpler for your customer. And that's essentially what they're doing because people are going to buy it. And that's really what it comes down to. So I understand the logic on that side, but I will say it feels creatively bankrupt in that side because they kind of just have to stick to the basics because the people that are buying it, the 30 million people that play it in the first month, aren't going to play it if it's not Black Ops or Modern Warfare. And that's kind of a sad reality that we live in. And unfortunately,
be positive at
people
times.
let it get there.
You're stupid.
The well of ideas is completely dried up. And we are witnessing one of the most creatively confused and unfocused games I've ever seen. What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today it's time for our annual Cock and Ball Torture Hour, aka the reveal of a new Call of Duty.
Please don't make me do this.
I have never been more excited to talk about a video game than I am right now with Black Ops 7. Look at that, it's Dead Ops Arcade. Remember that? Oh my god, I can pre-order now and get the Reznov Challenge Pack?
Get the Reznov Challenge Pack when you pre-order now.
This is wait, this isn't even for Black Ops 7, it's... What? Remember Reznov?
The pain is difficult, isn't it?
You guys remember him? Look, he's a Force Ghost now, for some reason. Isn't that neat? Remember Harper? Now he's in a robot suit based on a scrapped hero design from Concord. Isn't that neat?
I want to die.
Now, I am going to reserve ultimate judgment until I'm able to play the game myself. But if what I continue to see is like so uninteresting that I don't even want to play it, it's like a Vanguard situation, I don't know what's gonna happen. So I would take every critique in this video with a little grain of salt. Nothing is definitive or determined, and we'll see how this plays out. But right now, folks, I got a bad feeling about this.
Boy, you always got a bad feeling about something.
What happens when a franchise continues way longer than it ever should have? Well, eventually you hit a creative wall. It's a wall you can run on, but it doesn't really take you anywhere. It just kind of provides this illusion that you are moving somewhere. For Call of Duty, it's like there's an invisible barrier preventing this series from doing anything truly revolutionary or innovative with the IP. And it's also incapable of achieving its former glory. So we're left in this kind of limbo state where you can't even really tell what sort of theme or identity the game is supposed to have.
That goes back to kind of what I was saying earlier, where the audience has dictated what they like. Even if people are very vocal about what they don't like, it is very evident that when they came out with a non-Modern Warfare or non-Black Ops game, they just don't do as well. So realistically, you're going to end up with situations where people will inevitably not play those. And what are they supposed to say? Well, let's not do that again. And it kind of goes that route. Plus, a lot of times hindsight can be 20/20 because they are already working on the next COD. Like MW4 has been being worked on for past 3 years. So let's say we knew that Modern Warfare 4 wasn't going to be good, right? Like let's say we knew it was going to be trash by the time it gets there. Well, too late. They've already been working on it for 3 years. And then the next game after that, which is going to be a Sledgehammer game, they're already working on that one too. So it's like so late in the cycle by the time they course correct. And this happened with the Jetpack CODs. We got 3 in a row. And then immediately they got forced to go into like, oh, you know what? Let's do away with that. Let's get back on boots on the ground. Then they went like 200 years in the past from the future and then went back to World War II. So COD, it's just one of those things that unfortunately that they are on that timetable where they are coming out every single year. They're going to face that criticism versus other games that are, you know, semi-annual or like years apart, like Battlefield or Halo or one of the other like powerhouses in the like franchises in the FPS space that have been around for a decade or two. Those games struggle with that fatigue or complaints or whatever far less. They get to just hone in on the one game, have everyone work on the one game, and then you don't get a new game for 3 years. And then it can be kind of stale. And especially in the case of like Battlefield more recently with 2042, if that one wasn't your liking, well, now you kind of are stuck playing even the older iteration until you got to wait another 3 years before Battlefield 6, which will probably be amazing, is coming out.
The series has done everything it was ever going to be capable of. There are no other magic tricks to show us, except maybe the new fucking Teletubby skin. I'm sure that one's coming in, right? I have to do a separate video on the art style alone, man. Actually, post a comment. Let me know what you think the worst Call of Duty skins or bundles are. I might do a compilation video. When
That'll be pretty easy.
For way too long, eventually the studios have to appeal to the lowest common denominator. Nostalgia bait. Remember when this series was fun and cool and you liked it? And now all the new games we're making suck ass and have no real consistency? Well, guess what? If you shut your fucking mouth right now and pre-order Black Ops 7, you'll get the challenge pack. So today we're going to be looking at this trailer, the Black Ops 7 Direct. And just by the way, they're absolutely botting views on this. Have you seen these stats? You expect me to
it's crazy.
It has 31.5 million views in 2 days, but can only muster up 45,000 likes, 34,000 comments? This is not a ratio where people are interacting with this.
And this happens a lot with new game videos. COD, I've done this where you can go through and track all their different trailers, and you can do the like ratios. In this case, he has the little app that kind of gives a guesstimate of likes or dislikes rather. You can really see which views on videos get promoted. However, the YouTube algorithm is either they get paid to post it in more locations or whatever that system is. It's common.
Line where there's already some sort of manipulation of interest. Like, look at this. You expect me to believe 31 million people clicked on this video, but not even 1% of this audience translated to this video?
Something ain't right, Dutch. It just ain't adding up.
The big question for today, is there anything that actually looks slightly good about Black Ops 7?
No!
Why does this game feel like it's doing free advertising for Battlefield 6? Let's find out. Real quick though, I don't want to throw shade at any of the devs that appeared in this direct. We're here to criticize the product that's being shown. You know the rules, just don't be a dick to people. Okay, one thing I will say is these maps, I guess I kind of like the Mario Kart 8 aesthetic. It looks super chaotic. I don't know if
also it's like that LA looking whatever warped, like the Black Ops 2 mission that we have towards the end of the Black Ops 2 campaign.
Going one of two ways. Either they're ridiculously fun or they're the worst shit they've ever come up with. There's like no middle ground with if this is their multiplayer design.
Exactly.
Your streets shall once again run red with your blood.
Okay, so Raul Menendez is back, or at least a hologram of him. Now, here's a question. Why?
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
I mean, the actor who played him, Camar de Loreo, well, he's in the next dimension. Why bring back Menendez? I feel like it's both an insult to the character itself and the guy who played him, because for all intents and purposes, like, his arc was complete. What does he have to do? Just come back and be a fucking terrorist again? Real original.
Is nothing sacred to you?
Of course not. How do you think he sells skins? Now, I will say, I thought it was cool that even though Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign, they still were like, you know what? Here, play as all these fan favorite characters in Blackout. And it was like a separate thing that didn't feel intrusive, didn't really feel forced. This does. This feels like we can't come up with a compelling villain on our own, so what's in the recycle bin? Oh, it's Menendez. Menendez? Wait. I thought I spared your life, ending the perpetual cycle of violence and revenge that was the entire point of Black Ops 2's story, and the character arc that I, David Mason, overcame. I thought you were arrested and charged with war crimes. I didn't commit those crimes. The way this franchise has been handled over the last 5 years
makes me want to commit a few war crimes of my own.
Menendez is a terrorist.
I see they're still writing A+ dialogue. Menendez, are you a terrorist? No.
You look like one.
Refuses to let me go.
That's what you call ironic.
You know, it seems like Call of Duty refuses to let the Black Ops story go. I agree. You're going to Nicaragua. Yeah. Wow. That looks like Call of Duty.
This isn't real.
No shit. No shit.
Killing the man is a hell of a lot easier than killing the idea.
What? What the fuck is happening, man? So they just killed wait, Menendez survived. He escaped prison, and Woods is dead? They killed him off screen in a trailer. Wow. I get that this is a trailer, but like, why reveal a character's death in a fucking trailer? Why, like, what?
One funny thing I have seen about this, I'm not a lore Andy. I don't really care much about like the story like that detailed. I care a lot about gameplay as a priority. This is a funny one because I apparently based off the actual birth date and the timelines, I guess Woods would be 105. So like realistically, I don't know why you're expecting him to still be alive, but maybe they'll explain that in the campaign. I don't know.
Spoiled the game for me. What? I guess that's all they gotta show us for this.
Reznov challenge pack when you pre-order
Oh, fuck
now.
you. What am I looking at? Look at this shit. Karma's back, Harper's back. Remember Ted?
No.
And Reaper, the Black... Look at all this shit, man. Oh... Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised why it looks like it has over 278,000 dislikes. That is one heck of a ratio. But you know, maybe this Call of Duty Direct, maybe they'll recover it from there.
This is a story we've been building for years.
Is it?
And Black Ops 7 gives us the opportunity to take valuable player feedback and infuse it directly into our development to make this the best Black Ops.
I'm too old for this.
They literally say the same shit every year. This is the best Call of Duty ever. It's the best Black.
To be fair, with these things, it is funny because it's obviously for like Matt Scrons in the example, he's talking specifically or like on a micro level, maybe about a specific aspect of multiplayer. And when they're putting the video together, that's what they end up putting out. So that's on Call of Duty. So it is kind of funny that they do always hit on those same kind of notes. And, you know, for the most part, the games aren't all that different from year to year. There's people that'll like say, oh, the game, they completely overhauled it and it's completely different. I hate it. And there's other people, because the community is super large, they'll go, it's the exact same. Nothing is different. And it's like, both of those people believe both those things to be true and real, but those don't like compute with each other, because obviously if they changed everything and it's not the same game and then everything's the same and it feels the same and they don't do anything new, it's like kind of a weird debate that people get into. And even in the comments section, people make complaints about one thing or another. And there's people on the opposite side will make a complaint doing the opposite thing because different perspectives, whether it's about the pick 10, streaks being loopable or not, or specialist bonuses in terms of the specialist streaks and reward. I mean, there's so many different things that you can literally argue about in Call of Duty. And because it's been around for franchise for 20 plus years, people will debate either side. Same thing with zombies, with armor plates versus not. I mean, there's so many debates to be had in COD, and it's kind of funny to watch it happen with regularity every single year.
Black Ops experience. I mean, we're doing so much. It's just perfect. And I kind of miss that just like brutal honesty of old Vidocs and documentaries. Infuse player feedback into the development. What does that mean? We're going to listen to the players and kind of make a game that we think they'd like? Is it like, that's new and revolutionary now? Guys, this year, we're actually going to listen to what players say about the
Exactly.
game. Okay, it's not looking good so far. Now that we're starting off with these like generic shill corporate talking points that don't sound like they're being delivered by a real human being who's being interviewed about a game he's really passionate about working on. Like, I think what you'll notice about these types of videos is that the people that are talking about the game all sound like they're reading off a teleprompter. So it gives this really like unnatural corporate soulless vibe to it.
100%. I agree 100%, especially for somebody who's gone to the different events. I've gone to all the studios pretty much, except for High Moon or whatever. And I've talked to the devs in person. They're way more personable, way more passionate, and way more like interested in their section of the game than these videos will portray. It just doesn't happen because Activision is such a big company and all that nonsense that they are literally reading off a script. And I've had to do similar things when it comes to doing different sponsored things where it's like, you have to read this thing verbatim and it's a paragraph. I'm like, I'm not memorizing that paragraph. Let me read it on my screen or something like that. Other than that, yeah, it just doesn't feel as natural and it's bad, right? Like I think that is actively a problem that he's pointing out with the way they package their stuff. And we even noticed this where it gets got a little bit more like loosey-goosey, I guess you want to call it, when you watch the Battlefield presentation, because they let them just curse in their thing. And when they're just talking, yeah, we're excited about, hell yeah, we're kicking ass over here at Battlefield. And it's like, well, these devs would do the same if they didn't have like the constraints of Activision. So there is I agree 100% with that.
In a fresh and innovative co-op campaign.
Okay, co-op campaign. I like that idea. I'll give you a little bit of props there.
From the start, our goal was to tell a story that could stand on its own while also honoring the legacy of the series.
What?
That doesn't make any fucking sense!
Clearly you're not honoring the legacy of the guy who played Raul Menendez because you just revived his character for no reason. This is a story that literally, because it's built off of Black Ops 2. I like how they try to pretend like they give a fuck about Call of Duty's legacy. The legacy of this series has been pissed shit on and dug out of the grave. There's no legacy left to honor. Fucking Teletubbies and Hank Hill and American Dad, and there's no honor or respect left. How can a game stand on its own if it has to reconnect to a 13-year-old entry in the series? This is the biggest problem I have. It's like, you should have just done this for Black Ops 3. I don't know why you didn't. This is what I talk about when I say creative bankruptcy. Like, this is how far back they have to go for any sort of like inspiration or ideas. They just have to recycle the plot of Black Ops 2. And probably, as we saw with Modern Warfare 2 and 3, end up making just a much worse version of it. I think that's where we're headed.
What say we wrap this shit up real quick today, okay? I need to hit the beach and work on my tan.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That was a good line. Harper might be the only thing I like about this game, because he sounds like he's too old for this shit and wants to retire on a beach somewhere. But so I played Black Ops 2, and in the best ending, Harper fucking dies. So what this director's doing is canonizing the ending of Black Ops 2, but it does so in such a weird way where they don't even describe it, to the point where it's like what's canon and what's not. Why wouldn't?
Well, I think part of that is a little bit jumping the gun, because it definitely has multiple different endings and different routes and different choices in Black Ops 2. And we won't fully know what is considered canon, even though people will debate that in the comments, until you actually play through the campaign, because it'll clear it up. And you could either say, yep, they did it horribly, which is possible and probable, or, oh, they actually made it work. Unlikely, but possible. It is a little bit preemptive to say that you know exactly what happens in the entirety of BO7 without seeing anything but a trailer. It's like you can see a trailer for a movie and it's not supposed to give you all the details or how things connect. There's supposed to be surprises, and inevitably that's what we'll have. So we'll see kind of what they do. We don't get to play it early. Luckily, a progression counts, so there's a W there, but we don't get to play it early, so it'll be a while maybe before I even touch campaign. Like what?
Ending to Black Ops 2 be the canon one. It leaves all the right doors open for a sequel. Alex Mason is still alive, so is Frank Woods and Menendez and Karma. I thought the true ending would be Fareed kills Harper, but Karma survives to thwart Menendez so he doesn't escape prison. David spares Raul, and it turns out Woods is a lousy shot. But if Menendez escaped prison, then that means Karma died. But then why is she a skin in the fucking Vault Edition? That brain hurt.
And this is exactly kind of what I was talking about with the points. We don't know how they're going to do it, but there's enough problems where you don't know what they're going to do.
you didn't play Black Ops 2. That game was just all in your head. You're just crazy, bro. Embrace the madness. No, I don't think I will. I guess what bugs me the most about this is we didn't really need answers on what the canon ending of Black Ops 2 was, right? Why did we need that? 'Cause all it seems to have done now is just retroactively make all of our choices feel pointless. I mean, this isn't like Mass Effect 2 where your choices and your progress carries over to the next game and affects it. It's like the gap has been so wide. This is what I mean. Creative bankruptcy. We don't know what the fuck else to do. Go to the future at Black Ops 2. I don't know, man. I just work here.
It's such a good period of time because how have these characters changed over the last 10 years?
They haven't. They were all dead or locked away and you just dug up the corpses.
The ending.
Actually, nobody died. Everyone is fine, except for that one guy who voice acted a character, and we didn't really like him, so we kind of let him go, you know? We just don't want to fuck with Frank Woods no more. This is like the 8th or 9th time where a character has been visibly killed on screen, and then just years later in the timeline, just miraculously appears again. How many times can they keep doing the same trick? I'm honestly so perplexed, right? Imagine if at the start of Halo 4, Master Chief just reappeared on the Pillar of Autumn and with no explanation, and Captain Keyes is like, oh, you were having a crazy dream too? Here's Cortana. Maybe, you know, some people are probably going to be saying, oh, Act-Man, you're getting all autistic about this. Campaign's really not a big deal. I'm sorry, but my suspension of disbelief has been shattered about 15 times already, and we're not even 2 minutes into this.
At the end of Black Ops 2, Raul Menendez was seemingly killed.
Do I have to watch this? What do you mean seemingly? Did we shoot him or not? There was really only 2 choices. What do you mean seemingly killed? Are they doing the my brain wasn't in my skull shit again? What are
Raul Menendez was seemingly killed. Seemingly killed. Seemingly killed. Seemingly killed. Seemingly killed. Seemingly killed.
Oh, that's so funny.
I can't. Somehow Menendez returned. Are you for real right now?
Now in 2035, he's back with a mysterious video threatening to burn the world down in 3 days.
Okay, yeah, so it just sounds like the plot of Black Ops 2 all over again. Fantastic.
In response to this imminent threat,
well, one thing that some people have suggested is that it's some kind of AI technology where they were able to get his information, and he has like a predecessor that he trained that is basically messing around like with the AI, and he did actually die, but he still gets to mess around even 10 years after his death. But I don't know. People make all kinds of theories. I was like, whatever. I'll play it when it comes out, I guess. After I'm done with multiplayer and zombies camos, I guess.
Might as well rip the plot of Advanced Warfare while we're at it. What else do we got? Come on, fuck it. Is there anything from I don't know, the Big Red One? Can we salvage anything from that game?
They uncover a weapon engineered to turn fear into an instrument of war.
Every fucking Call of Duty for the last like 8 years, the plot has been stop the gas or stop the missiles, and we get nothing else. We get gas or missiles. It's your 2 choices.
Where are the missiles?
Tony's got their own missiles. No missiles inside.
Almost missiles.
2 missiles.
Had 1 missile gone.
2 missiles.
Am I high? Was I exposed to this drug? I could have sworn in last year's Call of Duty, they did this exact same thing. How is this game somehow rehashing last year's Call of Duty? I mean, you want to talk about creative bankruptcy? Wow. What is up with Call of Duty's obsession with this sort of like psychological, what you're seeing isn't real type of storytelling? You guys remember in the first Black Ops, it wasn't about like what you're seeing isn't real. It was your character has been brainwashed and he's hallucinating. But the hallucinations were never meant to pull you out of the story and be like, oh, that's not real. It was supposed to build up to the big twist at the end. You get these little breadcrumbs of like, something isn't quite right. Black Ops 2, the psychological aspect was direct. It wasn't like you're seeing shit that ain't there. It was like, there's this guy, he's manipulating you. He's trying to make David Mason a hate-filled, revenge-seeking asshole, just like he is. And then Black Ops 3 is like, you're in a frozen forest in fucking techno wonderland. And I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the way that BO1 does it is way more like undercover. But it's kind of like one of those things where if you go to see an M. Night Shyamalan movie, you're expecting the twist, so then the twist doesn't really come at you as a surprise. You might be surprised at what the actual twist is, but the fact that you're like, I've already seen the movie before, you already know what's coming, so you're kind of on the lookout for these little clues, so it gets really difficult. Doesn't give it an excuse because they should still just do it, assuming that the person doesn't know that it will likely have a twist or whatever. And they make it too obvious for the average viewer versus like how Black Ops 1 did it, where it was like, oh, shoot, what? Oh, you know, you get that little bit like on the edge of your seat, kind of figuring out what the heck's going on and actually surprised. So I think they do this with film as well. And it's unfortunate because once you know that that's coming, it's like all you're expecting.
At the heart of it all is David Mason, returning from Black Ops 2 and now portrayed by Milo Ventimiglia.
See, I feel nothing at this knowledge. I feel nothing. Like, character whose arc was more or less completed is back, played by a completely different person, so it's likely not even going to feel like the same character. Also, since it's been so long since we played as him, it's just creative bankruptcy.
David is a true leader, but he's riddled with doubts. He's always worried, did he do the right thing?
The right thing for what? For what are you talking about? Did he do the right thing in regards to... You see what I mean? Like, I don't even know what I'm watching. It's so hard to make sense of this. I feel like I'm a fucking idiot right now.
50-50 is one of our new characters.
50-50? What kind of name is that? Are we gonna add Ocho Cinco into this game too?
She's pretty amazing. She's Samoan.
Just
that was a good one.
Tip for any aspiring writers out there: if you're presenting a new character to an audience as part of an established franchise, you probably don't want to pick their race or where they're from as the first thing you say about them. It starts to give COD Vanguard vibes. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if I started a story and I was like, yeah, so this one time I met a guy and he was black, right? You're like, why did you feel the need to mention that at the start of the story? Where is this going? It indicates to me that if you immediately start talking about someone's like nationality, maybe the other parts of her character are not strong enough to hold up on their own.
She is willing to get some of her limbs
very valid point
with bionic limb replacements.
Another thing is maybe let the character speak for themselves instead of just describing their backstory, because that's really, really boring. Think of how awkward it would have been if Bungie was like, and let's look at Noble Team. Kat, you know, she's got a bionic arm because of some degenerative disease. I don't give a fuck. I don't know this person at all. If it's important, reveal it in the story, you know, leave something for me to uncover rather than directing me towards what I should be caring about or thinking about. She sure does sound like a strong female protagonist.
Alongside these new and returning faces, we're introducing Emma Kagan, portrayed by Kiernan Shipka.
I love how they have a character who's like a CEO of a tech company, and she looks like a fucking vampire. Very accurate portrayal, very accurate.
Integral to our story is the enduring shadow of Raul Menendez.
Guess you could say Call of Duty is haunted by the ghosts of its past. You know, the subscribe button is right down there. I'm sorry.
Now, as the world spirals towards chaos once again, the question isn't just whether Menendez is back. It's whether David is ready to face what that truly means.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What? The question isn't whether he's back or not. What? He's right there. What do you mean? Is he back or not? Look at him. He's right fucking there. Did we shoot him or not? It sounds like before we shot him, but he lived, but he didn't go to prison. Because did we shoot him after he escaped prison? I think the question is, why did the writers bring him back? Don't try to make sense of this in universe. You'll drive yourself crazy. Think about why the writers brought him back. BO2 already ended on a perfect note. As far as I'm concerned, there was more you could have done with it, but you missed your opportunity with Black Ops 3. David already confronted his past when he faced down Menendez, and you as the player got to decide, does Mason go down the path of revenge and follow in the footsteps of Raul? Or does he embrace mercy and defy Menendez, despite the fact that he has every right to take his fucking life for getting his dad killed? Not only are these not going to be the same characters,
Supposed to shoot him in the leg, bro.
but they already had completed arcs. Just bringing them back and saying fight again. This isn't Mario versus Bowser, right? I don't know, man.
Things are gonna progressively get really, really crazy the more you play.
Why? Is there a reason? Is there a reason we fought zombies in the last game? I barely even remembered that.
We can go to Nicaragua. We can go to Los Angeles, all within the span of seconds because there's no limitations on what this mindscape can bring.
That sounds really fucking awful. There's no limitations in what we can do with the story, therefore it doesn't feel bound by any sort of rules, coherency, logic, or any type of groundedness in some kind of reality. We can do whatever we want. You know, in creative writing classes in college, they wanted you to write a story without like magic bullshit, because it's such a cheap, lazy cop-out to just be like, oh, how did they get from Nicaragua to Los Angeles in 2 seconds? Oh, magic. It's just in their head. This type of stuff has to serve a point, and the way that they're presenting it is like they don't know what the point is. They don't know what to do with this series or franchise. It's creatively bankrupt. Okay, I like the idea of a home base. It worked in Cold War. It worked last year. Wow, wait, that's actually like something about this? Who would have thought?
Built for solo or co-op play, this campaign pulls you into a threat that demands your attention, twists your expectations, and reminds you exactly why Black Ops stories are so unique.
You smell that? That's irony cooking. That's burnt irony. This looks like and sounds like the least unique Black Ops story. I still don't even know what the fuck it is. Is it a sequel to Black Ops 2? A remake? Did we shoot Menendez? Did he die? Did he not die?
Well, it's 100% a sequel. Whether or not that'll make sense by the end of it is up in the air. Maybe not, probably is, probably not. I don't know. But Black Ops 2 takes place 2025. This takes place 10 years later. Whatever happens in those 10 years, it is what it is. Unfortunately, they took so long to get back to that little bit of like franchise because most people didn't even play Black Ops 2 that are watching this video. I know you're going to be like, no way, I played it. A lot of y'all did not play it. It came out like 13 years ago. I was like 24 when it came out, so I definitely played it back when it came out. But many in the comments definitely were not old enough to be playing Black Ops 2. So the story doesn't even connect for you either way, right? You'd have to go back to play it.
Didn't even try to clarify what the canon ending was. And if you're gonna make a follow-up to a game that has multiple alternate endings, you have to address that. Just tell us what the canon ending was, what decisions they made that you settled on that provided the most interesting opportunity for a new story to be told. That's all you had to fucking do. And this is ass. This is real ass. Do I even need to talk about the multiplayer? Listen to how they talk about it.
It's always about finding the right balance of something brand new as well as delving into some of our past experiences.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. The series has run its course and there's nothing left to do but remake the Modern Warfare series and remake the Black Ops series.
The overclock system puts even...
Well, it's funny too, is that's like the whole point I was making earlier, is that like you could blame them for doing those things, but they clearly make more money from doing those versus the alternatives of all the other games I listed that don't fit within the Black Ops series and the Modern Warfare series. Eventually Black Ops will probably get reboot because that's like the next logical step. It's kind of like with the Fast and the Furious series. It's like it should have been done at like 6, but they kept going. Why? Because people buy that junk. Like regardless if you think it's junk or not, people are buying it and people are paying for it annually. I guess it is what it is.
Power into the hands of our players, allowing more customization of your gameplay experience than ever before.
I don't know what any of that means. What does that mean?
Expanding Omni movement to include new ways to outmaneuver.
New ways to outmaneuver? No, bro. We're back to this? We're back to the bottomless pit in the middle of the map? The reason why this is so funny, I'm just gonna play you a clip from one of my favorite and a very underrated review
So you're going down this lane, and oh gee, it's a big
IW.
flat wall. I wonder if I can run on that. No, hey look, it's another big flat wall in a bottomless pit. I wonder if the game wants me to wall run here. Please tell me, what meaningful interaction does this create? How is this interesting? How does it add anything? But more importantly, why does this make the mechanics worth adding to your game and your franchise to begin with? This wall run over the bottomless pit, what does it meaningfully add that a regular path doesn't, other than this appearance of danger, or the ability to run on one of these super obvious designated wall running walls, oftentimes literally marked with directional arrows like we're fucking stupid.
Shout out, Fab. This might be the best proof I can show you to illustrate how stagnant this franchise is. I mean, it's like they can't even fake it, man.
What's funny about that too is you could argue that, but if we got, let's say, the Modern Warfare 2019, which a lot of people really like the concept of, even though I wasn't a fan of the gameplay in the game, if we just literally got that every single year, people would just be saying the same things. Whether COD changes or not, they will forever be, like creatively bankrupt in that sense, because not having those things, it would still be like, well, they didn't change anything. Well, then they change those things, and you're like, but then what's the point of changing those things? And it's a lose-lose. The problem is COD makes a new game every year, and because they're made by 3 different studios in tandem, they're going to end up putting out different products that are similar to each other, but slightly different, but not different enough to not be COD, but not like the same enough to be the same. I don't know. It's just unfortunate. That's just no other games doing it except for 2K, Madden, and those guys basically just do roster updates. They don't even actually really update the game to the level that COD does with multiple modes. So at least they have an edge in that category. But in general, it's like, if they didn't have that, then it would just be complaints about how it's basically the same. So, like,
taking a close look at
devil's
feedback
advocate,
and
I guess.
tuning adjustments across the board for a more controlled experience.
What am I listening to? This is just a bunch of nonsense jargon words. We're listening to feedback and prioritizing, balancing our enhanced movement capabilities to provide unique and dynamic video game interactions in our futuristic science fiction first-person shooter to optimize everyone's play. Like, what the fuck? It's just gobbledygook. This is just horseradish. I mean, I got a bunch of...
And this goes back to kind of what I was saying before, where Battlefield executed this really well when they presented a lot of the stuff with their game, where they just let their devs go off the cuff, where it doesn't feel scripted at all, because they could definitely make jokes and all that stuff, but a lot of the personality is lost because these are just devs. They're not actors that are going to be overly emphatic and be able to make these words pop off the sheet that they're reading. So that's flawed on Activision's side.
Other notes I could talk about, but honestly, I'm just kind of done. Like, the last thing I want to mention is the skins. Now, we are so creatively bankrupt with this series, we have to sell skins for a character that died like 7 games ago. I think that's another point. Reznov hasn't even been relevant to the story in 13 years. And in Black Ops 2, he was briefly mentioned once as kind of like a
flashback,
little bit of fan service.
Yeah.
We're being sold cosmetics for characters written by people who aren't even at the company anymore. All this series is capable of doing is rehashing its best ideas that other people created and made and put love into. But like clones, the longer you stretch this DNA, the worse it ends up becoming. Modern Warfare 3, for example. Eventually, you need a new batch of DNA to produce a new army. Yeah, I'm about as excited for Black Ops 7 as I would be a colonoscopy. Clearly, I'm not the only one. The decision to do back-to-back Black Ops games, to also pull all of this source material from the best story the franchise has ever offered, these are just terrible decisions. Remember how they treated Modern Warfare 3, okay? Like, I can't think of anything that was shown in both of these 2 videos that I was like, wow, that's unique or different, or that's kind of cool.
Oh, partially he watched the campaign and like 2 seconds of multiplayer and completely skipped the multiplayer section as well as zombies. So that would make sense.
Cool. And maybe that's an indication that my time has come. I may have simply just played these games too much, and I gotta move on to something else, man. Can you believe I interrupted working on Red Dead 2 videos to make this one?
What the hell is wrong with you?
I might be
Great game.
Bankrupt too. But where's the entertainment in not stopping to make fun of Call of Duty every now and then?
Self-aware.
I think the creative bankruptcy of Call of Duty is symptomatic of a greater issue plaguing the entertainment industry.
Yep.
Everything is either a sequel or part of a bigger franchise. Run out of ideas?
Well, we saw this too. I talked about it on Twitter. I know Charlie Intel's been tweeting like the daily screenshot of the most bought games on PlayStation at the moment. 2K, the basketball game that's set to come out or going to come out by the time you see this video, is number 1, number 2, and number 4. The new Metal Gear Solid remaster, not even remake, is like 3rd and 6th or something like that. It's on there twice. Borderlands is on there twice. Battlefield is on there twice. And Call of Duty is on there as well. All of these games are sequels. I think they had a soccer game on there as well. Regardless, it's no different in the movies. Like every big movie is sequel to this, sequel to that, prequel. Oh, it's a problem. It's a problem, not just in gaming or just for COD.
Multiverse where you completely ignore any established canon and just make up whatever bullshit you want. I don't know. Black Ops 7 looks utterly terrible. It looks horrible. I give these presentations a 1 out of 10. Like I got virtually nothing good to say about it. There's nothing excites me or anything. But what do you honestly think of Black Ops 7? Was I too harsh on it? If you had to pick one game, would you play this or Battlefield 6? Let me know your honest steaming hot takes in the comments below. Roast me if you're excited for this game, and feel free to disagree. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. It certainly helps.
All right, W. Ackman, he's been around for a very long time. He's killing it. I like his videos, whether I agree or disagree with them. I thought it was a lot of funny stuff in there. I decided to add this after I edited the video, and there was a lot of things that I think he did not touch on, primarily because he doesn't actively play Call of Duty, and a lot of the video he focused primarily on the surface level things that you could just see at a glance, without addressing a lot of the skill-based matchmaking or engagement optimized matchmaking that the game has issues with. I think that's kind of a core issue with Call of Duty, and it includes disbanding lobbies and voice comms, and there's a lot of things related to that. There's also server related issues. Multiplayer runs at 60 hertz for the tick rate, and then Warzone's at 20 hertz, and people have argued that these are far too low. I think for multiplayer it's not as bad, even though there are a lot of games that go up to 120 whatever, and Warzone could realistically see a bump to 30, 40, 50, even 60, and that'd have huge impacts on how consistently the game plays when you're in the different environment. The carry forward stuff I think happened after he put this video up. So a lot of that cartoon nonsense that we've had in Call of Duty, that's not going to necessarily get like added again, and I don't think those are going to be added in future seasons. They're still going to do silly stuff, no doubt. They've been doing silly stuff since Advanced Warfare, whether it's Clown or Gingerbread Man or Spawn, which I thought was a cool collab. There's tons of that that'll probably still happen. That's not the same as putting in cell shaded cartoon, which is not, but he didn't discuss any of that stuff, just other than I don't like the skins, they're silly. Cool, if you don't like them, that's an aside. I don't really care for skins, I don't buy them. I still use Rose skin from Modern Warfare 2 as most of my playtime. So that's that. I think there's a lot of communication that is lacking when it comes to the shadow ban system, and the people that recently got permanently banned for AFKing and plunder without any notice or warning. And this was used as a countermeasure to like hurt people that use cheat accounts. They boost them up using the AFK method. That is an issue, but they didn't really do any awareness around that. There's no communication on that. I think it's stupid that they just did it willy-nilly, but obviously he's not involved in that part, so he has probably no grasp that that is a thing. The other part is that just the cheaters and anti-cheat, I don't think it got brought up at all in the video. And those are both like huge issues to the core gameplay of Call of Duty, whether it's the multiplayer, not as often, obviously in ranked, it's a huge problem. And then they have this new introduction of some systems that they're going to use, like the secure boot, that should theoretically lead to a better experience. But that is also another red flag that we don't know about going into the next game, or the current iteration of Warzone or whatever the case is. And then another problem is the bloated file sizes. Every new game that comes out, it's like the game gets bigger and it's like, well, we want other things to happen, but then it's like the game is just a massive game, especially on consoles. If you haven't upgraded your hardware to have a bigger hard drive, you're gonna have to run out of space. You're gonna end up inevitably deleting games on a regular. And I think that is kind of an issue that has been a problem for COD. An overemphasis on Battle Royale, at least for the past few years, it felt like there was too much leaning into the Battle Royale that it actually hurt the multiplayer. And it seems like they've slowly gotten away from that. But that's still an issue of an ongoing problem. Even the campaign, it can be argued that a lot of those things are DMZ related or Battle Royale related. And is that really good for the campaign? Like, does it add value to the campaign? It would be a completely legitimate argument to be made that the end game is complete garbage and it's going to detract from the base game. Not mentioned in here. I don't think he necessarily saw all the concepts because he didn't watch the full video through to like actually complain about some things that are legitimately going to be bigger issues than is Menendez dead? You know, like, all right, cool. I think there's also just on Call of Duty's end, there's a lack of transparency and consistency in all kinds of different facets that really send mixed signals. They flip-flop on different things. They don't follow through. And people don't trust them. So as a result of that, like it's just an ongoing issue where they're going to have issues. So I thought I'd include that because I think those things are important too and worth discussing. And maybe we'll get some awareness on any of these things, but who knows? We'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching as always. Have a great day.